Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping is a mockumentary comedy film brought to us by Lonely Island. Now, I'm a big fan of Lonely Island. I think they are really funny guys, and I really love what they do with their music. Because what I love most about their music is not just the fact that it has a lot of replay value towards it, but of the fact that it's really sarcastic and comedic towards all the other songs we hear today. However, I will say, going into this movie, I didn't have the highest hopes for it. Simply because, and this is my own experience with comedy films, movies that looked really funny in the trailers and looked like they have a lot of great people involved with it, it usually ends up being pretty bad. I'm not going to name any movies in particular, grown-ups, excuse me, but I do have my experience in seeing a lot of comedies that didn't live up to the hype. However, there have also been times when comedies that actually look really funny actually end up being really funny. This is one of those times. So the movie essentially revolves around the life of the pop star Connor For Real. Hell of a first name, by the way, just saying. And one of the areas that I really did like with this movie is how well and accurately it depicts what a pop star goes through throughout their career. For example, this movie talks about how in the very beginning of Connor's music career, he was a part of a rap trio called the Style Boys with his two best friends, Owen and Lawrence. And these guys were just a huge hit growing up. You know, they inspired a lot of different pop stars and rappers and musical artists that we know today. However, tension eventually began to build between Connor and Lawrence when Lawrence wasn't given the credit for a song that was written. It was all given to Connor. As a result, the Style Boys broke up. Lawrence went to go work on a farm, and Connor went to pursue a solo career with Owen as his DJ. And towards the beginning of this movie, we see that Connor has become a really successful solo artist. His debut album was a huge hit. It allowed Connor to reach the very top of the charts, and the dude is just so unbelievably famous now. So much so that his new album that's being released called Conquest has become the most anticipated album of the decade. The problem is, the second it's released, it's pretty much hated by everybody. And that's because Connor chose to write every song in this album, something he's not very good at personally, and the fact that he chose to rely on hundreds of producers rather than relying on Owen's DJing. And I like that the movie was focusing on that because a lot of pop stars, you know, the more famous they get and the more successful they definitely get a little more cocky with themselves. They begin to have ego trips, and as a result, they decide, hey, I can do this all by myself. I don't need anyone's help. I got this. And that's ultimately what can lead to the demise of a lot of pop stars' careers, as it shows with Connor's case in this movie. But what I also really like seeing is the attempts that Connor's making to try to, you know, revive his career a little bit more, to get the people to love him again. And one of the things that he tries to do is he brings this aspiring hip-hop artist named Hunter the Hungry onto his tour as his opening act, because this plays on exactly what musical artists do with each other. You know, they'll go on tour with each other, they'll perform with each other, and as a result, both of their musical careers will really grow. However, the problem is Connor has such an obsession with trying to make things much bigger and better than they can be, because he doesn't stop to think that maybe everything is just fine the way it is. He's like, no, it's all about making everything bigger and more dope for everybody. This leads to him giving Owen a helmet that just blinds his entire audience, trying that magic trick to change outfits on stage, which only leads to everyone seeing him butt naked, and also him trying to propose to his girlfriend in front of the press to increase his publicity, but it only ends up with all the wolves that were around in the area attacking Seal, who was performing for him. And because of all these failing attempts, you know, Connor's popularity, it's starting to go down a bit more. You know, people aren't coming to his shows as much as they once were. And Owen takes this moment to try to stop him and say, hey, you're forgetting something that we could absolutely do. Let's go talk to Lawrence, you could apologize to him, let's mend our friendship, and we can all perform once again together as the Style Boys. Because when you look at Lawrence's life, you can tell he's completely miserable. I mean, you can tell this guy just hates farming. You can tell he's still upset and hurt at the fact that he wasn't given credit for what he brought to the Style Boys. However, like a lot of artists, Connor's pride keeps getting in the way, and he's refusing to give Lawrence the credit that he does deserve in this. Even gets to a point when you see that Hunter's career has started to launch a lot more bigger than Connor's did. Yo, Hunter's selling more records than Connor is. A lot of people are coming to the shows of Connor and Hunter just to see Hunter. And now it has eventually gone to the point when Connor has just reached complete rock bottom. Conquest has been knocked off the charts, Connor's tour has been cancelled, and he's been released from his contract because nobody wants to listen to him perform anymore. But Connor soon realizes in this situation, sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to realize the important stuff that it was that you had. And in his case, he realizes that the most important people in his life are his best friends, Owen and Lawrence. With that, he reunites with both of them. He finally makes amends with the two of them, particularly Lawrence. And to make matters even better for Connor, his manager, played by Sarah Silverman, gives him a call and tells him that he's been asked to perform on the Poppy Music Awards because Taylor Swift, who was originally going to, I guess, got arrested for murder. So in other words, she didn't take her breakup with Calvin Harris too well. However, at the awards itself, Connor ultimately decides not to perform solo. He decides to perform with his friends as the Style Boys once again. And the three of them just come on stage, they kill it together, they play this great song, and everyone is just so excited to see them reunited again. And with that, Connor reflects on now his career is revived, and more importantly, he has his best friends back. So all in all, I actually thought Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping was a pretty funny movie. Andy Samberg was just awesome as Connor for real. He really owned the role as what a pop star is stereotypically like. The chemistry between Lonely Island is just awesome. You can tell not only are they great friends in the movie, but in real life as well, which is why they play off each other so well. The movie has a lot of really funny moments, some that had me laughing pretty hard. And the soundtrack in this movie, I gotta say, I actually really liked it. Because the songs that are in this movie that Connor for real performs are exactly the kind of songs that Lonely Island is always making. It's the kind of music that I would download onto my iPod and I would listen to throughout the day. I'm serious. My gripes with this movie, however, are 1, some of the jokes do fall flat, and 2, and most importantly, this is a completely predictable movie. I mean, you do know exactly how everything's gonna pan out. But nevertheless, even though it is a very simple movie, this is still a really funny and very enjoyable movie, and I'm very happy it turned out the way it did. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.